Hello, my name is Christine May. We own land at the end of Hobbit Lane. We've been here before. We received a letter dated April 26, 2024 from Mary Ann Kims, the Township Treasurer. The letter states, the purpose of this letter is to formally advise you that the above referenced escrow account is in arrears in the amount of $6,159.63. As you should be well aware that the township has incurred costs from its engineer and other township officials on the development of your project. Therefore, the township is demanding that you pay the amount of $61,59.63 within 30 days of this letter. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact the township, which I did. That's all I got with my letter. There's no breakdown, there's no itemization of costs. I have no idea what these fees are for. There is a state law known as the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code in which you must advise me of a breakdown of costs. It's the law. You can't just give me a blanket bill and say, here it is. So when I called Mary Ann, she could not tell me what those fees were for. She had no idea. She said I should contact Michelle Dupree for a breakdown. She said it's probably for Dennis Makel, Harold Ivory, the Harshman Group, TJ Stevens, and the township officials, but she couldn't say who that was. Started calling people, trying to get information because we want to settle this. We want to pay our debts if we owe them or whatever we owe. No one called me back. I called Michelle several times to talk to you about this bill as well as landscaping our new home, but your husband said it was your busy season, you didn't have time to talk to me. Dennis Makel, I called twice, I've documented everything, no call back. I did get a hold of TJ, you were to forward me an itemized breakdown, I didn't get that.
I was to send that to the township, not to you.
I need to see what it is though.
We'll get you something in the next line.
Okay, well then I contacted Larry Spear. He was the only one nice enough to call me back twice and try to get to the bottom of this, to dig up records so that he could provide documentation of what we owe. We're happy to pay it. I need to see what I'm paying for.
Sure.
I run a business. I can't imagine doing your living room and giving you a bill for $6,000 and not telling you what you paid for. I'd be out of business.
We'll get you something next line, please.
Okay, then once I receive that, I want a scheduled meeting with the Board of Supervisors to review all these charges. I think that's only fair,
That'll be up to them.
okay? They're all sitting here now.
It is in process, we're just making sure it's accurate.
As you told me I'd have something by this morning, an email,
Well,
I have nothing.
Didn't have the treasurer here Monday to expedite the process.
Yeah, I appreciate your help.
I did pull the bills from Harshman. I think a lot of them were
Yeah.
Harshman bills.
Exactly.
And I did go back through the old bills and I pulled them and made a file.
Cause I talked to Harshman, and I have records as well from Harshman and any work that was done on our project, so I wanna sit down and compare those, but I'm gonna need to do it with all of you there, or at least the majority of people there, so that we can go through this and justify these charges.
We'll get that next line, it'll be good enough.
Yeah, it's, I'll be honest with you, I took your call seriously.
I appreciate that.
I'm being honest with you, there are just numerous things, it was all put together, but it's a matter of analyzing, make sure they're legitimate costs to you.
Agreed, based
Okay.
on things that pertain
So
just
the
to us,
lady,
not township
treasurer
matters.
wasn't here Monday, which sort of set myself and the office manager and Michelle back a day or so. Okay, so I would say maybe Friday, Monday at the latest.
I did pull and start creating a file. I don't have, key to like her files, so I went into the engineer file and so forth to account for the items that were in the bill. And it's reasonable, absolutely reasonable to ask for an itemized.
Reasonable is the law.
Yeah.
I mean, you do need to provide that. Now, I've been given a deadline of 30 days. I certainly hope I'm gonna have that extended based on the fact that you can't produce an invoice for me.
30 days from receipt of the same.
We'll give you 30 days from receipt of the
Of the invoice.
information.
Okay, with the assumption that I get a scheduled meeting with everyone to review it, because if you can't
Well,
schedule me a meeting within 30 days from my receipt of that, then what?
The difficult with a meeting with three supervisors, it would be an average, for three supervisors to have a meeting with you, or a quorum of supervisors, it would have to be advertised open to the public. It's not as, that, and I don't know, that the supervisors would be assisting you with that. If you had a question about an engineer bill, that would be an engineer question. If you had a question about a solicitor bill, that would be solicitor question.
But they don't call back. I don't get, I called you
Well,
off several times.
You called twice, and I have that document too,
where's my phone call?
Sometimes I get
Well,
busy.
it's not like it's immediate.
It's not
I know
gonna
that
be
you
fast.
called, I know that you called.
I get busy too, but
Yeah.
when people call me, I do return the call, at least within a week's time.
You just called me last week, actually.
Last week, it was a week ago.
You called me, correct, either Thursday or Friday last week.
So
I
it's
haven't-
Wednesday, so it's nearly a week. Just saying.
All right, okay.
I need attention to this if we're going to pay it. And I don't wanna end up going to court over this because
No,
there's
no,
disputes
it's
over it.
not.
I'm gonna
It's
have
not.
questions
So-
about this
No.
bill, I'm certain when it comes.
So what'll happen
it's
is
that line.
they'll get you an itemized bill within 5 business days of today. And what'll happen is 1 or 2 supervisors will meet you because Michelle says, if we do have all 5 or 3 or 4, then it's a Sunshine Act situation. So probably 1 or 2 people will meet with you, okay?
Okay. Let me just see if there's anything else. All right, as long as someone will be able to sit down with us, because I'm gonna need explanation, I'm certain if the bill's that high. Oh, I know my other question. In my paperwork from the township, when we first came to you regarding this whole matter, all of my documentation, when we applied for the initial minor subdivision that we had gotten approval on, it states we started an escrow fund. When that escrow fund gets to 50%, we are then asked to replenish the escrow. Why were we never asked if we had these bills?
Well, one, the escrows were split between Sterling and May and Shire. So for
But-
whatever reason, the old staff had 3 escrows open to you, of which it had to be figured out. 2, I mean, we didn't stop any process with you. We kept moving forward even though we knew that we had some historical issues with some of the escrows. So we didn't hold back any process for you due to that. We just felt it was better to continue to assist you in your project.
But you don't understand what I'm asking. If we racked up a bill for this much money that we were completely unaware of, had we been asked for escrow money,
Some of
we
them-
would have been aware, like, you could have asked any one of the 3 groups that you had for money. None of us were asked. Shire wasn't, we weren't, Joe
Well,
wasn't, I wasn't. Why weren't we asked? That's protocol for the township.
Asked now.
Okay, but we're asked, now that it's $6,100, which is difficult to pay, why didn't we go by township protocol that says, when your escrow account, I have it in writing in my documentation, gets down 50%, you are asked to replenish that for your project to continue?
Some
Why
of
weren't
those
we
bills
asked?
dated back to 2021 and bills that were turned in by Harshman later in the game. So
But-
that's part of it.
But there were other, well, again, the dates will tell all.
Yeah.
Because if the dates,
Why don't we just, again, I understand what you're saying. We'll get back to you in the next 5 days, business days, with the bill. And then Larry or John or Carl will meet with you, or somebody else will meet with you, okay?
okay,
All right.
and we're gonna get an extension from the date we received this.
Just sent you
30
the
days.
30
Yeah,
days
30
extension
days
from
from
date.
And we'll be
From the
certain if
date.
someone will be available and
Diana,
we'll call
would you
back.
send her a letter to that effect?
Sure, yeah, I'd like something in writing. I also wanna ask, these meetings are videotaped, correct?
Yes.
Not by, well, there's audience members that.
But does the
videotape.
township videotape them?
No.
You don't, so just audiences. So if anyone does have videotapes from 2023, I would be very interested in meeting with you also, okay? Thank
Thank
you.
you.
They're on Facebook,
You're on Facebook?
all of them, everything
Charlotte?
from 2020. Me, Denise, Broglie, Puglisi.
Hello all.